Alright, let's do this. So check it out. It's the E-Man Victor cell phone. It's from China. I believe it just came out, and it may just end up being my dream phone. Do an unboxing before I really got to testing it. First impression, and there it is. Check it out. I need to take it out of here. So this is obviously a very fancy looking box. I don't know why they want to make it so fancy, but it's, you know, very, sort of gives it a feeling of being well built. Now the phone comes with this kind of cover on it. Let's take it off. Actually, let's turn it on too. I bet this is the power button. Yep, E-Man.so by Android. Let's take this thing off because it takes out. Ooh, now that's shiny. So basically, I wanted to get this phone because it's supposed to be very strong and resistant to breaking, which I've had a problem with. So being that, it's also very water resistant. I think it's IP67. Okay, let me turn this brightness up. Make sure it's the brightest right now. So the battery life supposedly is very good on this. It's 4,800 milliamps, and the specs are just outrageous. For example, it has an octa-core processor. It's on par with, you know, the best flagship phones right now. It's got 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabyte of space inside of it for your storage, Android 6.0. And I needed a specific thing too, because I need to have NFC working, and I also needed to have USB on the go working too, because I need to be able to connect a camera to the phone to be able to use it. Then also I need the NFC, the Bluetooth, the special low power, low energy Bluetooth thing for this particular camera that I'm shooting on right now to be able to connect to the phone. So that'll be exciting to get that working. Looking at the back, there's the E-Man 13 megapixel camera. I don't really know what this center thing is for. I know there's a flash right there. There's the camera. Okay, so here it is. We opened the box. We checked out what's inside there. And I didn't actually know everything that was inside of there when we were looking at it in the other part of the video. But it actually does come with something else. It comes with its own little screwdriver, because I was sort of shocked to see that when you look at this phone, it's got little screws on it. I imagine that's to make it a little bit tougher when it's going to be waterproof, but I was wondering how to get to the SIM card in that case, but it turns out with that screwdriver, to get to the SIM card, you unscrew it here and here, and that's where the little SIM card's hidden. So I'll just do that real quick so you can see it. Make sure that's totally loose so it'll get ready to come right off. And it's very easy too, you know. I don't mind that it has screws, because in the case where, let's say I have this phone for a few years and you're trying to take the battery out and replace it, because you know batteries go bad, it's nice that it's screw there, screw there, screw there, and screw there to be able to do that, to change your battery, I assume. But this, you know, that might be how it works. Hopefully it is. Let me just make sure that's totally unscrewed. Just a little bit more. I do like a Phillips head better, but they give you the flat head. Okay, there it goes. So you take that off, and there is a micro SD slot and 2 SIM card slots. As you can see, I had the wrong size, but I figured out how to get it in there so it'll stay. But yeah, you just simply pull that up, and there it is. Just stick your SIM card in there and then close it. It's wonderful. And that's ready. Then you just screw it back together. So I've been using this phone for about a week now, and I've been able to write down notes of things that I have found out about the phone, and things I like, things I don't like. And I'm just going to go over them real fast. But first, I'm going to read you the specs. of the phone that's advertised. I know there's some things that will attract people to this phone, like the IP67 waterproofness, which I like too, and that it's built very strong. It feels solid in your hand, it really does. People pick it up and they say, man, that's a heavy phone. Well, it's built strong, because the last phone that I got, as you saw in the other video, I smashed it on the first day. And that is not going to happen with this phone. So this phone weighs about 228 grams. It's 76.2 millimeters by 154.9 millimeters by 13.8. I don't know what that translates into inches, but it's got a 5-inch screen. That's the important part. It's bigger than most phones with a 5-inch screen, for sure. You see it takes up from there to there. Has a lot of dead space, but it's not bad. It just feels really good when you use it, though. I like feeling this leather stuff. Leather all around. I don't know if it's real leather or what, but it feels good when you use it. CPU, it's got 2 GHz ARM Cortex A53, 8 cores. GPU, ARM Mali T860 MP2, 700 MHz, 2 cores, 3 GB RAM, 32 GB of storage, and it also allows, as you saw earlier, a micro SD slot. The screen is 1080p, which has been looking pretty good to me. Let me turn up the brightness. And it feels so nice, you know, smooth and snappy. It's good. The battery was very key for me, because I totally hate how these phones these days are running out of battery after 3 hours, because I use it pretty heavy. This one's 4,800 milliamp hours in the battery, and I've used it and I've loved how long it lasts. I don't worry throughout the day about having enough battery. At the end of the night, it's, you know, just about the end, and if I have like a long extra night, then I'll just bring my my power bank and I'll charge it back up, and it just works really well for that. Got Android 6.0 Marshmallow. The camera is 13 megapixels and looks like it takes 1080p video at 30 frames per second. USB 2.0 micro USB. And another thing I made sure that this phone has, which is something I needed it to be OTG, on the go ready, so it can plug into this camera to be able to do, you know, things you plug into the camera for, like pictures and video. So that was very good that it has that. Another thing that it has is Bluetooth 4.1, along with Bluetooth Low Energy, which this camera as well, the Nikon D500, uses for its SnapBridge technology, and that works as well, which is great. I love it. Of course, GPS and AGPS. Now, some places said that it has a 4K camera for video, but it does not. Now, I'm gonna show you a few pictures on the screen. Now, the first one, let's look through my images. Now, as far as pictures I took with this camera, let me wipe off the screen a little bit. There. I don't have a screen protector. There's me. I want the grid view. So in the very low light, I took this picture at a bar, and this is like very low light and has the graininess that you'd expect in a camera phone. But it, you know, it doesn't. It's not something you would use it for at all. Might as well look up there. Very, very grainy, and this is even this camera, the D500, has trouble in this lighting. So it's a miracle that it picked up the colors as well as they did on the ladies' dresses. What else? This is a scene in the street, and this is where it's really good. When you have enough light, this camera takes some extremely good pictures, at least in my eye. You know, the colors are great, the dynamic range is great. I read that this is the same camera sensor as in the Galaxy S6. So that, hey, stay. So yeah, here's another picture in a bar, and you know, this is pretty low light situation inside of a bar. It is backlit. You have some light coming in, but it's still pretty dark in there, and it does very well. Like, you zoom in all the way and you have very good detail on the bottles. You can, and really there's not much grain. I'm trying to like look closer here, but yeah, not much grain going on. Sorry about that light up there, but it's just there. Let's see if I can block it. Here's a picture of my friend Rock setting up his gear, and yeah, I'm zooming in pretty good, and the colors are great, the picture is great, the sharpness is so decent. Look at the detail in these plants. I really also like this camera for things that I just want to take a picture and go. This is so much easier than this D500 because it just gives you the colors that you want right out of the box. Don't have to like do anything to it and it's ready. So that's really cool. Here's just a street scene. Yeah, the sharpness is amazing. Just zoom into these people, and in the good lighting, it gets the best out of the 13 megapixels. It really does. Look it up. Those are those people over there. Zoom into them. I was really shocked that this phone was that good. Here's a little bit darker of the scene, and you know, start to see a little bit of grain in the clouds. Lots of detail in the boat there when you zoom all the way in. But yeah, that's because of less light. But when you zoom out, a great looking picture. The colors are beautiful, great dynamic range, wonderful. Now for the next part, the video. The video quality is totally not what I would have expected for such beautiful pictures as these. The video quality is just not there. It does 1080p. The video camera part, it has the option. It doesn't really like let you change things like resolution. It has video quality, fine, high, low, medium, but it doesn't give you a resolution option to change. It does have electronic image stabilization, but if I were going to use it for anything, I would keep that off. Unless like I don't care about the video quality and I'm just going to be walking around with it, which it does a really good job. And here I can put a sample with it on. It really does a great job stabilizing. Like, I was in a car and it stabilized it really, really well. And yeah, that does a great job at smoothing it out. But the downside is the video quality suffers. You know, it crops into a 1080p video that's already soft as it is. You know, I did lots of testing, like even this sort of controlled test of the same thing. So this is unstabilized 1080p video on the fine, and that's as sharp as you're going to get video out of this thing. I'm really surprised and disappointed, but to be honest, I have this camera up here for video, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. Stabilized, it crops into the 1080p image, so you lose sharpness in the video. Then I really don't know what the high feature is or what, but all I do know is this low feature is just like really bad. Terrible looking image. It's so blurry. It's probably like not even SD quality. It's really bad. So that's the video part. The video is not great, but it does have cool filters. And I guess in this video, you know, for what it is, I filmed some friends that were, let me turn that down. I shot some video of some friends that were performing, and the lighting there is terrible. So I just turned off the saturation, and it looks cool, although, you know, it won't have the sharpness of an amazing camera. One, because it's low light, two, because this thing is not very good at taking video for some reason. And that turned out pretty cool looking. It has its own look, so that's not too bad of a thing. What else do I have to show you here? Yeah, so that's it for now for the picture test, video test. Now, while I was using it, I wrote some notes of things that I like and things I don't like. How much time do I have? Okay. So, the camera, after using more flagship names or more well-known names like Samsung and LG, I noticed that they have things like a slow motion feature. This one does not have slow motion in its camera, and that sort of sucks. It's not cool. Oh, I will show you some samples right now of the front-facing camera, the camera that faces you. I have a few pictures of that, and you know, it's okay. It's not great. In the car, you know, it's fine. I don't have anything to, you know, compare it against, so it's good. Let's see, that's the light up there. Yeah, so it doesn't have a slow motion feature. It doesn't give you any video resolution options. You have to like guess what it is. Is it fine, high, medium, low? And one of the biggest things that is an issue right now with this camera is the flash is not working right. I understand it's a brand new phone, it's gonna have these kind of bugs, but are they gonna fix it? Here's what happens, I'll show you. Put the flash on, and I'm gonna take a picture with flash. Oh, it worked this time. I wonder why. So what happened before, and it's probably just a bug, is that when you take a picture with the flash on, let's try it with auto. When you take a picture with flash on, it'll like freeze, the light will stay on, and it won't take the picture, and then your moment will be lost. Just a warning, you may have trouble with that flash. Let's try taking a picture over there. Yeah, I don't know what caused that bug, but it really did happen, and it didn't happen this time, so just be aware. You know, another thing is, you know how most phones you just swipe to get your screenshot? With this one you can't, but you can turn on in the settings this feature to swipe down with 3 fingers, and it'll get your screenshot. And for that, you go to the settings, and all the way down to system motion, and there it is, 3 fingers screenshot. Then there's also 3 fingers slide left to show recent apps, which might be cool. It's a weird motion right now. 3 fingers. There it is. It's swipe from left, or swipe left? Yeah, swipe from left. Now we know. The download accelerator tool. I really like this because, you know, those things like GoPros and this camera, for example, where you have to, and the 360 cameras as well, where you have to connect through Wi-Fi to be able to use them with the phone and see the image. Well, this download accelerator option, turbo download on here, you turn it on and it'll use your Wi-Fi and your mobile data at the same time, so you can use them both at the same time. That's a great feature. It was made to make downloads faster by using both, but you know, that's a really good use for it. So you'll be able to do a live stream from your GoPro or your 360 app while you're on the internet. Normally you can't do that because you can only use Wi-Fi or the mobile data at one time. So that's a great feature to include, and I love that. Another thing that they have here is something called the SOS button. Let's see if you're focused in. Yep, that's focused enough. I don't know how in the world to edit what it does, and right now I press it sometimes and it gives me this weird thing. Let me hold it on for a second. It says, warning, entering, 5 seconds. Warning, entering rescue pattern. You will be liable. You will be legally liable for a false alarm. SOS message will be sent after the countdown of 5 seconds. I don't want that. I want to turn it off. How do I turn that thing off? I have no idea. Okay, I've got 8 minutes left. At least like let me do something else, because I'm like doing something and then like I accidentally hit that button and it like just throws my other program off, and it's really annoying. So that's that. Here's another thing. This is a waterproof, water-resistant phone, IP67. I think that means it can like be down a meter or something, or it's just water-resistant. But it looks like it's decently built to be waterproof. If you drop it in the toilet, it's supposed to not die. That was like the Samsung commercial, right? So, since it has that waterproofing, the audio jack and the charger jack will need longer plugs to be able to reach. So it comes with its own special charger cable with a longer USB thing. Actually, I do have that with me. And it also comes with its own nice little headphones, which are really, really great. But they have a longer plug, so it'll actually reach. It's like this phone likes black guys or something, because it needs it longer to reach the end. And here's the USB cable. Where is it? See that long, weird looking USB cable? That's what you need. I guess maybe I can search for it on Amazon and get some more spares, but there might be some, microphones that I have to plug into this that might give me some issues, that's just not long enough. So we'll see how that works out. The speakers are very good on this phone. The speaker's back here, and it just, it sounds great. It's built very well. And that is it. That's as much detail as I could think of the phone. And I hope you liked this presentation of it, even though a few things fell and things went wrong. To be honest, I really like this phone. I really hope that they fix the bugs, because it's really working well for me. It does the things that I need for the work stuff that I'm doing with it, like connection to my camera, connection to my camera, and the speed. Oh, another thing I was going to show you, last but not least, I did get the benchmarks from a few different places for this phone, and that's something that the nerds like looking at, so I got them for you. So screenshots. My device, this is a screenshot of some benchmark that I can't even pronounce. I did Antutu and Geekbench, and I think this one's Geekbench. So the iPhone 6 scores better than this one, and I guess it's overall. So it had 80,000. This had 48,000. The S7 Edge 134,000, 48,000. OnePlus 3 140,000, 48,000. iPhone 7 Plus, which was the biggest score, 172,000. Yes, compared to this, 48,000. So the performance is probably very not as good, but to be honest, for me, it's just fine. It really is. What else do I have here? Here's another one. I think this one's the Antutu one, the Antutu benchmark, and it says my device 730 with this ARM MT6755 processor, and the Galaxy S7 was the winner there with 1806, followed by the Note 7 1786. So I don't play these video games on my phone, but so I'm actually, that's not a big deal to me. The bigger deal to me is the video quality, which is just really bad. So that's the review of the phone. Hope you guys enjoyed it. and maybe I'll be able to do this in Spanish because I got that request a billion times before, so I'll just do a reread of this video. Alright, subscribe.